Alright, hello guys. How you doing today? Today was the Xbox One event, Xbox One reveal. Overall, I felt that the reveal was so-so. Some things I liked, some things I didn't like, and I'm going to go through various things about the event in this video. So first, let's talk about the console itself. The console is called the Xbox One, which I find to be kind of funny since they're going from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. And it kind of goes against the reason why I named the Xbox 360 the Xbox 360, since if we read articles back from 2005 or 2006, Microsoft called the Xbox 360 the Xbox 360 because 360 is a higher number than PS3, and therefore the Xbox 360 would seem more high tech to consumers than the PS3 would, just based on name. This time around, though, they're going against that, since you got Xbox One versus PS4, and 4 is obviously more than 1. So I don't know, what their decision was in terms of that. I think Xbox Infinity would have been a better name, and it was rumored to be called that, but I don't know what happened there. I guess they decided Xbox One would be a better name in terms of marketing. And I guess it will be, since Xbox One will be the one-stop, well, they're trying to make it the one-stop box for all forms of entertainment, games, movies, TV. So I can see it being good in terms of that, but overall I think that Xbox Infinity would have been a better name. Now in terms of the way the console itself looks, the console looks pretty big, to be honest. It looks bigger than even the original Xbox 360. It's big. It's a really modern tech look, flat, no curves, just flat box, black and gray. Seems like it will fit into many entertainment centers, but it doesn't look that great, to be honest, to me. Well, excuse me, my opinion. I would rather like the system to be smaller, like in terms of in comparison to the Xbox S, or smaller, or at least a similar size to the Xbox 360S. Since I think that Xbox 360S is a perfect size for a console, and this Xbox One, it looks like it will be bigger than the Xbox 360S. So I'm going to have to make some room in my entertainment center, but that's fine. As long as the games are there, I'll be happy. Now, in terms of the games, I'll get to the games later, since that's what Microsoft did during the reveal. They talked about the games later. They start off the conference talking about the overall user interface, the menus, as well as media functionality, and a lot of it seemed cool. They show off the new Kinect. The new Kinect looks nice, and it looks really improved in comparison to the first Kinect. They showed off like how the new Kinect does motion, and it seems like it'll do motion basically one-to-one, and there will be no lag like there was on the first Kinect for the 360, which is a good thing, since that was like the main thing that people complained about the Kinect. They said that Kinect didn't really track their emotions that well, and it seems like Microsoft really improved on that for this new Kinect for the Xbox One. But in terms of media, they showed off changing through channels via voice, which seems cool. It looks cool. I mean, I could see myself using that a lot. And they also showed off the new user interface and the new menus. Overall, expecting like a different look. I was expecting the interface to look similar to Windows 8. And I mean, they did have tiles, from what I remember, like tiles on the menus, but it looked darker in comparison to the current interfaces, like the interface you would see on the 360 or the interface you would see on Windows 8, the main menu. So I found that to be kind of interesting how there was that change. But it seems, since there's tiles, it seems like it's overall, taking that concept from Windows 8 and using it, and with Microsoft using it for all their devices. Now, they spent a good amount of time talking about the media functionality and user interface changes, as well as Kinect controls and Kinect voice controls. and I think it was about a half an hour they spent talking about that. And people online were saying, okay, where's the games? Where's the games? Where's the games? And they started off in terms of games by having EA show off their new sports lineup for the Xbox One, their lineup for the launch, and there will be NBA Live, UFC, FIFA, and Madden for the first year of the Xbox One, at least during the fall for the Xbox One. And what they showed off reminded me a lot of that Madden trailer back in 2006 for the Xbox 360, that next gen trailer. And it obviously wasn't gameplay. I really wanted to see some gameplay, and it obvious that it wasn't gameplay. It looked too good to be gameplay. I mean, nobody plays sports games from those angles that they showed off during. Excuse me. Nobody plays sports games in those angles that they showed off in that trailer that they had for all their various EA Sports games come to Xbox One. And therefore, I'm looking forward to seeing, at E3 how the games really look in terms of actual gameplay. But it's obvious that they said that EA said that they're going to have a deal with Microsoft. A part of that deal is, if I remember correctly, having FIFA Ultimate Team be exclusive to the Xbox One in terms of the next gen FIFA. But there's definitely going to be some more surprises and/or announcements coming soon about the deal. I mean, EA didn't team up with Microsoft just for FIFA. I mean, at least I'm pretty sure that's not the only reason why they teamed up with Microsoft. So I'm expecting more to come out soon about that deal with EA and Microsoft. Also, in terms of games, they showed off, Activision showed off the new Call of Duty. It looked good, and a big announcement in terms, in my opinion, was the fact that Call of Duty Ghosts will be a time next gen exclusive to the Xbox One. And that, is really good for mainstream gamers. I mean, that's what this conference mainly was for mainstream gamers, gamers that only play sports games and shooters. They went for that demographic directly. I mean, having EA Sports there, as well as Call of Duty, was good. And, while those games will be available on the PS4 as well, having them be shown off on Xbox One first creates kind of like a psychological effect on people. Since when they think about those games, they'll think about the Xbox. I mean, when people already think of the Xbox when they think of Call of Duty, due to how much Call of Duty was advertised on Xbox, and due to exclusive Xbox deals exclusive DLC, time exclusive DLC for the Xbox 360. And Microsoft seems to be playing on that idea even more by showing off these deals with EA and Activision, as well as showing off the games that these two companies make first. And it makes people, when they think of these games, it makes them think of Xbox first. Or at least, them thinking about getting the Xbox, because these games still weren't shown on the PS4 yet. So it was smart. This conference overall was smart in terms of business decisions, I guess you could say, since it's obvious that they were using this conference to target mainstream audiences. And I think, while gamers online are complaining, like I see it now on Twitter now, that gamers online are complaining about the Xbox reveal not having that many games or showing off that many games, this event gives them more leeway to talk about games during E3. They won't have to talk about the UI and or media functionality at E3, since they already talked about it at this event. So that's a good thing, since when gamers watch E3, they want to see games. Many of them don't want to see things about media functionality or user interfaces. So I think this will put Microsoft in a really good position for E3 to show off all the various games that they'll have at launch. And there will be a lot of games during the first year of the Xbox One's life. They announced that the system will have, if I remember correctly, 15 exclusive games during the first year of the Xbox One, with 8 of those games being new IPs. And a lot of people, for the past 2 years or so, have been saying, Xbox and Microsoft relies too much on Forza, Gears, and Halo. Why don't they make new IPs? And they answered that question today, since 8 new IPs during the first year is a pretty good amount. It's bigger than I remember. It's bigger than any other console launch from what I remember in terms of the first year. So that it's a good thing. I personally think that these new IPs will have a better shot at success by being tied to a new console, since they won't have to compete against that many games, since the console itself won't have that many games, and therefore more people will be willing to try out these new IPs. Also, these new IPs will be on new consoles instead of them being on almost 10-year-old consoles, so the new IPs will run better, play better. The developers won't have to make compromises to make their games run on old hardware. So while I understand people saying that they want new IPs all throughout a generation, I'll rather have new IPs be for a new console, like have a bunch of new IPs for a new console as soon as it launches, instead of having a bunch of new IPs during the console's last year, especially if it means that those new IPs would have to run slow due to the console being really old and or not look as great as as developers want them to look, due to them again having to make compromises for the older hardware. So yeah, I'd rather have new IPs be on new consoles during the first year than to have a bunch of new IPs be for a really old console during the console's last year or so. That's just my opinion. People feel differently about that, and again, I understand it, but that's just the way I feel. I'd rather have new IPs be tied to new hardware to make them be the best that they can be, instead of being tied down due to them running on almost 10-year-old hardware. So anyway, overall, this Xbox reveal, I would say it was disappointing. I was expecting more, especially in terms of games. But the more I think about it, the more that I think that this was smart, since it's obvious that Microsoft was using this event to get through talking about media and user interface type stuff in Kinect, and they're obviously saving the stuff about all the new IPs and new games for E3. And again, like I said, I'd rather have them stick to games at E3 than to have a mix of games, media, UI, and Kinect at E3. And like I said, it looks more and more like Microsoft will make their conference at E3 have the majority of it be just about games and not about media that much. Also, in terms of media, the Xbox One, Microsoft made a deal with the NFL to have exclusive content for the Xbox One. I don't know what it will be, but if it's like streaming games, NFL games, that will be really huge, especially in America, USA. And I think that will make a lot of people get Xbox if they're gamers as well as NFL fans. So that may be good. The fantasy football, fantasy basketball type stuff. Being able to pop into it instantly looked cool. But again, that's not something that many gamers would be interested in. But again, I'd rather them talk about that stuff at this event than to talk about it at E3. Make E3 for games. And I'm really interested in seeing how E3 will be for the Xbox One. So I'm expecting them to just blow the doors out in terms of the new games for the Xbox One. So, people shouldn't overreact right now. E3 is just a few weeks away. Wait until then to make the decision on the system. Like I said, it's obvious that Microsoft is setting up E3 to be mainly about games. I mean, they basically said that. They said before this event that E3 will be more about the games instead of in comparison to the way that this reveal event will be. And it seems like that's exactly the way that things have been set up. I mean, they talked a lot about the media functionality for the Xbox One, and it seems like they'll be talking more in depth about the games at E3. So just wait. E3 is just a few weeks away, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's basically all I have to say about the Xbox One reveal event. Hopefully you guys enjoy my opinions. I'm sorry if I stumbled over a bit. I know I did, since I'm doing this, on top of my head, talking about everything that was at the conference and how I felt about the things that were shown. If you like my views, leave comments. If you don't like the way I felt or my opinions, leave comments. I'm just interested overall in seeing, you know, how people feel. Oh, and Forza 5. Forza 5 will be a launch title for Xbox One. I forgot about that. It's going to be interesting to see how Gran Turismo 6 and Forza 5 stack up to one another, since Gran Turismo 6 will be on the PS3, which is, again, almost a 10-year-old console, and Forza 5 will be on the brand new Xbox One. So seeing those two games side by side should make for some really interesting comparisons, especially a lot of fun debates from Gran Turismo fanboys and Forza fanboys. It's going to be so much fun. Fun. But anyway, the Xbox One reveal was exciting. Kind of disappointing in some areas, but again, I'm expecting more at E3. I'm expecting Microsoft to show more about games at E3. So again, don't make overreactions right now. Wait until E3 to talk about the Xbox One's games. Wait until then, since I'm pretty sure they're gonna blow the door out in terms of new IPs and new games, as well as showing actual gameplay for the games. So again, if you like the video, subscribe. I'm going to be doing reviews on the D-pad for the next gen launch titles in the upcoming months, at least, you know, in the month or two, the month, during the month that the new consoles are released. I'm going to be doing some reviews for some of the launch titles, since I'm expecting to get one of the two consoles during this launch, since I'm so excited for this next gen of gaming. You know, these current consoles that we're playing on now are old. I'm just ready for something new. So I'm more likely to be getting a new console, you know, shortly after it's launched. So I'll definitely be doing reviews for the games for one of the two consoles launch games. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys later for another video. Alright, goodbye everybody.